Nintendo has a lot of games in its stored library, but some could argue it found true success after pairing with the legendary developers Game Freak Incorporated. Together they came up with a new and interesting concept where you, the player, harness the power of nature, taming majestic beasts with unique and interesting abilities, and pitting them against equally positive creatures in a contest of wills. That's right, say it with me, we'll be talking about the game that started it all. Pocket Card Jockey! Or at least its 2024 release, Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. What? Did you think I was talking about some other game? Of course, 9 out of 10 dentists and gamers agree that Game Freak is best known for its hit series Pokemon. It's their most famous franchise after all, with its 36 installments? Good grief, that's a lot of games, man. But what if I told you Game Freak has made another game? One that had nothing to do with Pokemon. A completely new franchise that Game Freak put time and effort into that is now released for the Nintendo Switch. No! Oh god, not that one! This one is good. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, a Switch re-release of the original 3DS title Pocket Card Jockey, is a game where you can finally experience the long-awaited fantasy of riding horses and... cards?
Got any threes?
I say nay. Yeah, it's a weird combination for sure, but surprisingly effective, as Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, as you use card organization skills to help win races, track your horse's energy, and work your way to win the trophy. But how does this game hold up to its cash cow of a brother Pokemon? Can it compete with other racing titles? Let's find out. You start by creating your jockey. I chose blue because it's my favorite color. You meet up with this horse racing promoter guy, and you ride your first horse. All right, Mr. Ed, let's get racing. I got my cards ready. I died. No, seriously, I'm not making this up. You start the game only for your horse to kick you in the teeth, send you to the ground, which, if you aren't dead yet, get ran over by a stampede. Just for good measure, you die in Pocket Card Jockey, and a violent death at that. Apparently, horse hooves pack quite a kick. This angel, who looks suspiciously like the horse promoter from earlier, pities the useless soul of a protagonist we are, and decides to not only bring us back to life, but combine horse racing with something we are actually good at. The only thing we are good at, apparently, is solitaire, because we are a loser, and the only person that want to play cards with us is ourselves. The angel decrees that in order to become a better jockey, we must use the powers of solitaire. And if we don't, we go to HE double hockey sticks. Oh, did I mention that? He literally says if we suck bad enough, he'll send us to the bad place. What is this game? Am I good enough? Nay! This would never happen in Pokemon, I promise you! You will never start the game getting a Pokemon, but Charmander gets mad at you and burns you to a crisp. Then all of a sudden, Arceus is like, hey, wanna get better at Pokemon? Learn Texas Hold'em! Otherwise, you're going to rot in hell! With the power of angel magic, you can now use solitaire in the horse racing world. It's unique, but we're already on an odd journey as it is. How do we learn this new and strange way of winning races? But with a talking horse tutorial, of course!
Hello there, random!
Oh, hi! It's Horse, of course! The talking horse that teaches you how to play the game.
Why, yes! It is me! I heard you were making a video of this game! I'm just here to see if you do a good job explaining the mechanics!
Oh, Horse, of course! I'll certainly try.
Or else, it would be a shame if something happened to you in the video. Bye!
Well, that's not terrifying or anything. The goal of the game is to use solitaire to be a better jockey, but this isn't your standard game of Klondike. You start your race trying to clear a row of cards as quickly as possible, and depending on which card you have, chooses your level of difficulty. The higher the difficulty, the harder the game. For those of you who don't know what solitaire is, take your starting card and pull the next card from a pile of other cards until you run out of, well, cards. For example, You have a 3 on your deck, you grab a 4 card, then 5. And if you don't have a 6, you grab a card from another pile. And pray to the old man angel that it's a card that can help you. That's this game! But with horses! You want to get as much of a perfect as you possibly can. If you do, your horse gets happy. And this icon on the bottom left turns blue. You're going to want to turn blue as much as possible. Well, not you, your horse. Every time your horse icon turns blue, add those numbers to the top of the screen to increase your horse's enthusiasm. You then choose a spot for your horse to move on to the map. Then choose the next level of solitaire. Rinse and repeat until the end of the race, where you see your horse's total enthusiasm, which is insane because it shows your horse with these intense flames in the background, and it's really cool. Then it shows the home stretch, where you and your horse reach the finish line. Depending on how good your solitaire is and how much stamina you have left, you will either win the race or run out of stamina and bite the dust. You can use power-up cards you collect throughout the race that range from using a whip, I'm so sorry horse, or you can use this fireball that spawns Dragon Ball Z powers on your horse. Go baby, go! I will say it's easier to win at the beginning of a horse's life compared to later, but we'll cross that bridge when we ride a horse across it. Once you finish a few races, you get a sponsor who will lend you their horse for you to ride on, which aren't fully yours. The game clearly states you can't afford them, but you can name them. Here, let's name this first one. Perfect! You go through the map of your horse's life, which typically lasts a few years. Some races are easier than others, but the goal is to race as much as you can, and try to level up your horse by reaching the top requirements, or just winning. Or you can collect these horseshoe cards from each race. Eventually, your horse levels up and their speed and stamina increases. Your horse goes through a lot of races, and your young foal soon becomes a mighty stallion, and you do your best to win more races. You also get items to help you out thanks to Chirp's Happy Horses. Yes, Chirp here runs the store and advertises little power-ups that can help you out, such as Happy Carrots to increase your stamina, a prod that increases your time with solitaire, lucky gloves that make your luck increase more than a barrel of golden horseshoes, and the Joker card, no Persona 5 here. It features our favorite talking horse on the card.
Looking cool, Joker!
Elmer aged quite gracefully as he took on race after race, but I will say the harder the races got, the harder old Elmer struggled. Either the solitaire was too complicated, the timing was too short, or I just ran out of stamina. It started to get frustrating as no matter what I did, some races I would fail even when doing the best I possibly could. I even looked up strategies to see if there was anything I could do to help poor Elmer out. Not that the game wouldn't try to help. Horse, of course, would certainly offer some tips.
That's right, I would! And good tips, too!
Actually, I'm going to have to disagree.
What did you just say?
The tips are great at first, but honestly, it gets to the point where it just repeats with no new information on how to get better. I know I started wrong, horse. I know I didn't have enough stamina. What you're saying is not helpful.
Oh, that's a shame, Random. It's not my fault you need to get good.
I really think horse is as unhelpful as possible, and thankfully, you can turn them off entirely so they don't bother you. Now, why don't I turn them off? Because I can boop them and make them go away.
No, Random. That's not very nice of you to do. I'm just trying to help you out. You don't want to get on my bad side.
Sadly, though, your horse can only do so much. It really feels like these horses are limited from the get-go. And even if you do your very best with solitaire, even if you try to race and stretch your stamina, it just won't be enough to win this cruel racing world. Elmer has reached 4 years old. Race after race has taken its toll on the old fellow. He's won some and lost some. However, now he's lost his third G1 race. And Mr. Non-Angel here tells us that when a horse loses 3 times, it's time for him to retire. They're sending him to the farm? No, Elmer! Please, mister, just give him another chance. I know I named him Elmer as a joke, but we've bonded since then, and I didn't actually want them to end up in a glue factory. No! Oh wait, no. He's actually going to a farm. That's honestly kinda nice. Yeah, when horses go to a farm, you can hang out with them whenever you want. What can we do with that farm? Nothing for right now. Let's get our next horse, given to us by this up-and-coming pop star. I know just what to name this horse. Brilliant! That's another fun aspect of the game, by the way. The sponsors. They're quite a quirky bunch, too. A pop star, a guy with a purple suit and golden teeth, and a crazy inventor? You don't get to question their motives, they just give you the horse and you race them to victory. There's also a variety of horses to choose from the game. Yellow horses, blue horses, red horses, robotic horses. Robotic horses? I don't know how legal that is in this race. It's probably an issue of some kind. But hey, if AI can take my job, I can at least use it to win a race or two. Along with the sponsors, you do have a diverse cast of wacky characters. There's old man Mr. Miyakawa, who may also be the angel who saved you. He'll never tell. You have your rival, Jagger Steel, who is kind of a creep and is very suspicious about you getting good after your accidents. And then there's Jimmy. What the hell, Jimmy? Jimmy is completely insecure, and even more of a loser than you are, and that's saying a lot. He seems friendly enough, but his arc, if you could call it that, explores his relationship with carrots. What do I mean? Well, one thing I really like about Pocket Card Jockey is the characters and how wacky things can get. These are just little dialogue snippets between races, but they are always charming and silly. Some seriously funny moments can happen after you beat those G1 races, which can lead to interactions between said characters. My favorite one being Jimmy eating the specialty made carrots sold by Chirp and getting extremely energetic off of them. What's in those carrots, Chirp? What's in them? Can I eat them? It's played for laughs, but seriously, Jimmy is addicted to these things, buying them in bulk and tricking Chirp into giving him more, literally running on horse equipment and then going back to get another quick fix. Poor Jimmy. Every year, hundreds of jockeys die to stamina carrots. Don't be like Jimmy, kids. Say no to carrots? These mid-scenes are honestly the thing that made me want to keep playing Pocket Card Jockey. Winning races with solitaire is really fun, but this game is wild. I never know where it's going to go, but I adore it. I am here for this wild horse ride. Speaking of horse rides, unlike Elmer, Horsune Neku turned out to be one hell of a horse. By far getting a lot more wins for me, winning way more trophies and helping me get to see more of the crazy interactions that happen. But eventually, every horse has its day, and this horse had to retire as well. And when two horses hang out together on a farm, let's say a different type of riding was going on there. Look at that, a baby foal! Yeah, when two horses retire, you can have them breed a new horse. This horse will grow up to be faster, stronger, and have more stamina. Bred to race, born to be wild. It's a really intense mechanic that I'm almost surprised is in a game like this. And then I remember these guys made Pokemon. What should we name this little guy? How did this happen? How did I get a baby horse? Did I eat one too many carrots? And that's the pattern of the game, huh? Get horses from sponsors, level them up as best as you can, have them retire, and then make whoopee to make even better horses until you have a long line of successful breeds ready to race, retire, and breed all over again. It's like the Kentucky Circle of Life.
Oops.
When I first heard about Pocket Card Jockey, I thought it was just a solitaire game with horses. This is not what I expected, and I've never been happy to be more surprised. The game trailer heavily advertises the racing mechanic, and how you ride a horse while playing solitaire, and training horses to make the ultimate racing machine. That's all good stuff, but my favorite thing about Pocket Card Jockey is probably the funny dialogue and crazy scenes in between races. The premise is so silly and gets weirder and weirder, and it's what inspired me to make a video in the first place. And I'm glad it did. This game is great, and I admire it more than a few of its Pokemon brethren. It's fun, addicting, and challenging. You do have to get really good at solitaire if you want to succeed. I didn't even mention the online play, mostly because I couldn't play with anyone. I've waited for someone online to join, but nothing. No one is playing this game, huh? While it is entertaining, I can see why people are discouraged to play it. It can feel rewarding to play the long game of creating horses, but I don't have time for that, and I imagine a lot of other people don't either. While the game mechanics and dialogue are great, if you don't feel like you're making progress, you're going to move on to something else, and sadly, that's what I'm going to do. It's a shame because it's so entertaining, and it's really affordable too. But it's just not for me in the long run. If you are looking for a game to play in between the next big release, or a fun twist on a classic card game, Pocket Card Jockey Ride On is a race you won't want to forget. Well, if only I knew how to end the video.
Oh, I know how to end it.
Oh, you do, horse? How's that?
Why, that's simple. How about I send you to the glue factory? Oh man, I need to get a happy carrot from Happy Horses after all that.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, and be sure to check out my other videos too. Special thanks to these amazing people for helping me out with the video. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Also, an extra special thanks to my Patreon patrons, including Mantle Ferox and Savacom. You help make every video possible, and you all mean so much to me. If you'd like to join our Patreon, the link is in the description below, along with my Twitch and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night!